person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you.
I recognize the God in you.
Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love. We come together. We come together.
We come together.
We come together. In the name of love. Now look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too.
God loves you and I love you too.
Feel the love and the sanctuary. Hey, lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Every walk of life, every breed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. We come together.
Look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you.
Namaste, I bow to you.
Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Hey, lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come
We come
together.
together.
In the name of love. We come together. We come together.
We come together.
We come together. In the name of love. In the name of love.
Hey, do we come together in the name of La Pacificos? I am Valerie Daye, and I am your practitioner today. And I'm so excited to be here with you because we're going to have a lot of fun. While the boss is away, the people will play. So, so I would like to invite up Rachel Rosen. She is bringing forth our light. And this is our time in our service where you just get to take that breath. And let's put, what are we doing here? We're moving our slides. Dale's doing a great job over there. So this is the time where we just take our collective deep breath as we light the candle and we connect with the light that we are inside. Yes, the light that we are, the light that is, the light of love. Didn't that feel yummy? Oh my goodness. So let's read our affirmation together. We rise together as love in commitment to one another and ourselves. We rise together with intention to learn about ourselves and each other. We rise together. Let us pray. So we just exhale into the I am that I am, the I am that we are. We just arrive here a little more fully, a little more completely, just alive, awake, and aware, and grateful. So grateful for this beautiful, special, precious sanctuary and all the people that are gathered here and all the care and the love and the energy that has been put into preparing this beautiful service today. So we just open up to that receptive nature that is who and what we are, and receiving the nourishment of music and message and community and fellowship. And so we just know that Spirit speaks so amazingly and powerfully and clearly through Reverend Sunshine Daye and sings through our musicians, and that it falls and lands upon the open hearts of each person here. We just acknowledge this beautiful configuration of souls that has never been together in this unique configuration. So we just feel into the uniqueness of this now moment, just opening up to creation that is happening right here and right now. We name this a safe space to be real in God, to be real in God. We just rest in Thee. We open up to the powerful message and wisdom that is this service, saying, and so it is, and so I let it be. Amen, amen, amen.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Hello, everybody. I'm Ray Bradford, and on behalf of the host team, we welcome you here into this sacred, wonderful, celebratory sanctuary. Whether you're here in person or watching us online, please know that we are different because you are here. And also, it's not just today, if you're watching us live today, but at any point you can go to our YouTube channel and watch today's or any service of Pacific Coast or the old Namaste or the old Seal Beach. I mean, Spirit, it happens every time you plug in, inside and on the internet. But before we proceed, we'd like to remind those of you who have cell phones to please place them on silent, or if you want to turn them off, you can, but that allows everybody to be present, to really be present for the message. Also, the challenge that comes with having our own parking lot is that it's a tight space, but it's a blessed space, but sometimes people park behind others and they want to leave and there's a car there. And so if you have not already filled out one of the cards that the parking team out there, or you can get them from the welcome team, if you have not filled one out, please do so. And when you park behind somebody, just place it on your dashboard. Your name and phone number will be on there, and that way after service, if you want to stay and enjoy the goodies and just fellowship with each other, we have a way of contacting you, so you can move the car, or sometimes Terry grabs your keys and he moves your car for you. And he returns your car. He returns your car, which is the most important part of that message. So if you don't already have one of those cards, see the welcome team. They'll give it to you, and just keep it handy in your car. Now, I previously welcomed you all by saying that we are different because you are here. Well, the truth is we are. We're grounded in the truth that we firmly believe that love is the message, love is all there is, and love is already inside of you. It is not something outside of you that you have to reach for, attain, either pay for books or pay for class or whatever, but if you do this, then you get that. Love is already inside you. It operates in, through, around, and as you. And knowing that, knowing the truth that it is here, it makes it that much more attainable when sometimes either external conflicts or internal challenges lead you to forget that you have love already inside of you. So how do you remember that you are love, that you have that power already inside of you? Well, over the next 45 minutes, you will hear messages through song, through speaking, the spoken word, and we have many guides that are going to guide you through this. And so relax in your chair, enjoy today's service, and most importantly, pay attention to those things that you may hear or see that kind of resonate inside of you. You know, the principle of a tuning fork. One you don't have to touch, but if the other one is resonating at the same frequency, this one vibrates, and it's the same with spirit. If you hear something happening and something vibrates, pay attention. There's a lesson that is being directed right at you. So, let me introduce you to the guides of today. First one is our guest speaker, and I'm really excited about this. Yeah, they know her already. She is no stranger to many of you here. She is a gifted teacher, a facilitator, an author, a CSL ordained minister, Center for Spiritual Living, and a spiritual director of Vita Spiritual Learning Center, as well as a spiritual life coach. Her passion is a unique blend of what matters deeply in her life: spirituality, human relations, and addiction recovery, where her 33 years of sobriety and life experience have given her and continue to give her a unique ability to meet people where they are and to appreciate the beauty in everyone, everywhere. She literally transforms lives. So if you have not heard her before, you're in for a big treat. On a personal note, Terry and I first met her back in late 2006 when Terry and I walked into our very first service at Namaste, Center for Spiritual Living, over at Marina Pacific in the movie theater. We've witnessed her journey from practitioner to minister, from community leader to friend. And on a personal note, I'm getting goosebumps, which means you're speaking, whenever you get goosebumps, you're speaking truth from deep inside. I'm blessed that we have three core areas of our lives in common. One is our spiritual belief and the belief that we are all one. The second one is our cultural background. We are both Borinquen. We are both Puerto Rican from the Bronx and from the south side of Chicago. So Boricua's in the house, people. And most importantly, that we both know the blessings of living a sober life. So now, let me formally introduce, though she'll be speaking later, our guest speaker for today, the Reverend Sunshine Daye. Now let me introduce you to the rest of our team, and if you could hold the applause till the very end, because there's a number of people. Our fabulous music team from left to right, Des, Melissa, and Richard, over here. Oh, you can clap. Now we'll do it, because there's a lot of people. The production staff, which does the sound and online streaming, are John Broderick, who we're glad you're back and healthy, and Matt Prophet. You've already met some of today's practitioners. They are Practitioner Emeritus Valerie Daye. The lighting of the candle and holding us in consciousness during service is Rachel Rosen. The pre-service meditation, if you attended, it was led by Gina Overholt. And if you've never attended the pre-service meditation, give yourself a treat next time. Come early, like around a quarter after, and they sit in the back, close the room, and it really grounds you for the day. Representing our leadership team today is Pam Watanabe. You've met our welcome team as you arrived over there. Probably you did not escape Terry and his big hugs, so you probably got one. Our production coordinators are Carol Ann Preeny and Dale Mall. And coordinating the coffee and sweets that magically seem to appear at the table, and the trash is magically going back, but it's not magic. They all do hard work, is Floran Limpus and her team. So let's thank everybody. Thank you, and at this time, let's welcome Pam Watanabe to share some announcements.
Reporting live from Seal Beach, I'm Pam Watanabe. I'm from the leadership team for one more month. More about that later. Okay, but whoopsie, there we go. Before we do that, let's talk about our collaborative vision by saying it together. Through mindful and respectful exploration, we are creating a foundation that supports and engages a whole beloved community equipped to launch new strategies for a thriving spiritual center. I realize I just kind of read that and just read the words, but Thursday we had a council meeting, and we read this before every council meeting, before every team meeting. It's read, and again, more about that later, but it hit me when we did it, considering I only have one more council meeting after about 1,000 years, and that I've been on the council. So it just really struck me how when we first created this and started reading it, I swear I was just like, oh, I hope it's true, I hope it's true, I hope we can. Because we knew it was a long journey, and now it's kind of like, oh, that was a cinch. It was great. We're all just one, and we forget that just a little over a year ago, we were two completely separate organizations, and now we're just not. We can't I look out and I'm like, oh, no, we're just. So now our announcements. The retreat called Cultivating Emotional Balance. Unfortunately, we just found out this is going to have to be postponed to a later time. There was a scheduling conflict that just appeared. So stay tuned. It's going to be incredible. So save your calendars for some future date. Next week, we will be having our monthly Care Circle Sunday. If you've not been to one of those, our chairs are not set up like this. They're set up in circles where you actually get to participate with each other, and it's going to be led this week or next week by Reverend Carol Lotz. It's a great opportunity. She is a palliative care chaplain for Ventura County Medical Center, and she provides spiritual support for patients and families moving through life-altering trauma and illness. So she's a great person to help us talk about healing, and that's what we will be doing next Sunday. So please come, regular time, regular place, different format. And then September 29th, after service, we are going to have our annual meeting. I believe it's the first annual meeting we've had as Pacific Coast Spiritual Living, right, leadership? Yeah. I know, like I said, we're going to be doing several things about that. I wrote them down this morning, so I do remember. We're going to present the financials. We're going to review the major milestones, which again are many, but most importantly, it includes the adoption of the care model that was first brought to us and conceived by Reverend John De Palma and Reverend Bobby. And the practitioners, and then the council members got involved. And now we have many new care teams, including hospitality, the welcome team, the host team, the marketing team, the finance team, and the facilities team, and soon we will have a fundraising team. And I may have even missed one, but many of you are involved in the teams. So it's not just you just show up and do something, it's a team, and you work together, and you get together, and you have fun, and you have dinners, and it's great. It's great. We will also be voting on a new logo. The one we have was interim, and we've got a couple of ideas, so we're going to be voting on a few that have been passed through many different people and ideas, and we'll be doing that. And we will also ask the members to confirm 2 new council members. Sometimes you call them board members, sometimes council, because it was board at one place and council at another, and we haven't that part we haven't resolved. Anyway, but about that, to bring you 2 new council members, we have to have the candidates to choose from. So the Transitional Leadership Council, which again I'm a part of, there are 10 of us, which is too many for a council, but we wanted equal representative from the two groups. They're taking applications to replace those of us that are going off of the council. And because we've way completed our terms. Some of us has been on for, Janice, how long? A long time. And some of them are staying on even longer. And because we can't just say, okay, we're all done, good luck. We're not going to do that. That's not how the care model works. So we'll have some of them staying on. We're going to elect 2 new ones, and it's going to have a transition or a nominating committee. There'll be a past council member, 2 present council members, and Reverend Bobby will receive the applications and do the interviews. Then at the annual meeting, we will be presenting those to council people, potentials, for approval. It's a much saner way to do it than to have a vote of all these people and you don't know them, and yeah, it's silly. So we take, it is going to take 1 or 2 more years to get down to the 6 council members we want, because again, we don't want to have a complete turnover all of a sudden and leave people there having to start from scratch. So we're going to do that. So for more information, please see a council member. I'm always sitting back there at the computer online with the people on YouTube. Hi, people on YouTube. My friends, except for Mari, she's here today, and or Debbie Ann, or Dennis, there's a bunch of us. Yeah, Terry, Floran, Lori. So, why don't y'all stand up? That's a great idea. Why am I? Yay! Y'all, these people have been so great to work with. I am just really, really grateful. And that's it for me. Thank you.
I invite you to take a deep breath and allow this song to ground you. Right here, right now, with every breath I take, I'm letting go, gonna let it fade away. Right here, right now, I'm getting out of my head and dropping into my heart. Right now, right here, right now, with every breath I take, I'm letting go, gonna let it fade away. Right here, right now, I'm getting out of my head and dropping into my heart, and how my mind can turn and twist and spin, just begging for some peace. That's how I know it's time to go within, be still and just breathe. Right here, right now, with every breath I take, I'm letting go, gonna let it fade away. Right here, right now, I'm getting out of my head and dropping into my heart, and with each breath I'll go deeper in this space and ground myself from the peace within this place. I can feel the love, it's flowing all around me. Right here, right now. Yeah, I can feel the love, it's flowing all around me. Right here, right now.
We should talk about this. Come on, why not? People might misunderstand what we're trying to say, you know? But that's a part of life, okay? Come on.
Talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that would be. Let's talk about sex. We're gonna talk about sex today, you guys. Oh my gosh. I got all dressed up for you, put on my sexy outfit. So when I heard the talk title, Let's Talk About Sex, Baby, I thought about that song immediately. It just came to my mind, and it's so fun. And then I looked, and that was about a couple months ago, and then I looked at the schedule this week, and the title was called What We Don't Talk About. Isn't it interesting that we're so uncomfortable with sex that we changed today's talk title from Let's Talk About Sex to What We Don't Talk About? Ladies and gentlemen, that's how uncomfortable we are with sex. Like, you know, really. So, sex has always been a behind the closed door sort of topic, not one that's discussed in our spiritual communities. However, if there is no spot where God is not,
Come on now.
That must mean that it is behind those doors too. What do you think?
Right? Yeah.
So let's bring the conversation out into the open so that we can broaden our awareness and understanding. When we stop hiding sexuality away, we can start releasing shame, guilt, and ignorance about this completely natural and pleasurable experience. Now, while I was thinking about this, okay, we're all uncomfortable with sex. We all came from sex. If sex didn't happen, we wouldn't be here. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, really. Like, so why are we so uncomfortable with this? So, and you see up on the screen there, I didn't have the actual book, but I've been going through a rite of passage, and we are going through my family home that I grew up in and going through all kinds of things. Well, on the bookshelf that used to be what was my bedroom, now it's the guest bedroom, was this book. This is my parents' home on the bookshelf, The Gift of Sex. This book was on my parents' bookshelf, The Gift of Sex, A Guide to Sexual Fulfillment. And here's a little summary. Here's an ideal guide to understanding human sexuality and all its pleasures, drive, frustration, and fulfillment. Now, it was actually written in the 80s, but it felt sort of 50s, but that makes sense because I was raised in a devout Mormon household. So let's just say that the sexual topic was very 50s. And while you would think we talked about sex because that book was on the bookshelf, oh, hell no. We did not talk about sex. I mean, sex was clearly going on because I have two older brothers, and I know my parents like sex, and my middle brother and I was talking about, I wonder which one, yeah, but we won't go there. Okay, so, but as I was preparing for this, I changed my whole talk this morning because Osho, Sex Matters. I'm going to read to you from Osho. And I invite you because my muse, my TEDx talk muse, asked me about what about deconstructing? And we've been using that word a lot lately, right? We're deconstructing. So here on page 123 of this book, Deconstructing Sexual Conditioning. And he starts, there is something in the very phenomenon of sex that makes you embarrassed, guilty, self-conscious. What is that? Even if nobody teaches you anything about sex, nobody moralizes to you about it, nobody creates any conceptions about it, still there is something in the very phenomenon that you are not at ease with. What is that? First, sex shows you your deepest dependence. It shows that somebody else is needed for your pleasure. That's something we can debate. Without somebody else, that pleasure is not possible. I mean, I still love the reading. So you depend, your independence is lost. This hurts the ego. The more a person is an egoist, the more he will be against sex. Your so-called saints are against sex, not because sex is bad, but because of their egos. They cannot conceive of themselves being dependent on somebody, begging for something from somebody. Sex hurts the ego most. Second, in the very phenomenon of sex, the possibility of rejection is there. The other can reject you. It is not certain whether you will be accepted or rejected. The other can say no, and this is the deepest rejection possible. When you approach somebody for love and the other rejects you, this rejection creates fear. The ego says it is better not to try than to be rejected. Dependence, rejection, the possibility of rejection, and still deeper, in sex, you become just like animals. That hurts the human ego very much because then there is no difference between a dog making love and you making love. What is the difference? Suddenly you become like animals, and all the preachers and moralists, they go on saying to man, don't be an animal, don't act like animals. It is the greatest condemnation possible. In no other thing are you so animal-like as in sex, because in no other thing are you natural. In everything else, you can be unnatural. Oh, and okay, we're at 6 minutes, I think. Let's see. So with that, there's just two other things I wanted to share here. Get my notes. Is that, while I was preparing this, I also thought, I have a dear, dogma really creates a lot of guilt in us. And I have a dear friend that is a Latino Catholic gay male, And, you know, he feels like dirty after having like sex, right? Like, Reverend Sunshine and I are here today to liberate all of you from any guilt, shame, pain, whatever, drama, story, stuff, worry. Like, you can just lay it on the altar there because you should be free to have pleasure. And so I just, you know, whatever your choice is, celibacy, monogamy, polyamory, whatever, like, it's all okay. Like, just free yourself, you're liberated, and so it is.
Question is why are we here? Say our hellos and goodbyes and then disappear. This beautiful life, what is it for? To learn how to master peace or master war. There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart has been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you're after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Well, we all make mistakes. No, we're not perfect yet. Maybe God made us all from an accident. And the question that sits on everyone's lips is why should we pick ourselves up and start over again? There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart has been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you're after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 love. Oh, love, 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 love. The question I'll ask at the end of my days is why do I give and what will I take? There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart the answer.
Hello, beloveds. Hello. What a joy to be here with you today. You ever notice that when someone says, don't think about pink elephants, you think about pink elephants? Well, today we're not going to talk about pink elephants. I kind of wish we were, but Valerie set me up. It kind of feels like when the parents leave the auntie to have the conversation with the kids about the birds and the bees, you know? It's like, this is your job, not mine. Yeah, you know, this idea of sex, of sexuality, is quite an interesting topic. I'm always interested in topics like this because it's taboo to talk about sex and sexuality in church and in spiritual communities. Yet it's okay to yell, oh my God, while having sex? I don't get it. I mean, just saying. And I understand that conversations like this can bring up resistance or even discomfort. So I want to acknowledge that, and that sometimes even our laughter is around some of the discomfort, and some of you may even find the conversation and the discussion distasteful and inappropriate. When I was having a conversation about what I was going to talk about, I was like, isn't that inappropriate? And don't make all the oohs and ahs when you say, oh my God. Because it might be, it brings up some discomfort. And the reason that it brings up discomfort is because we have been socialized and we have been groomed. Hear me when I speak, when I say we have been groomed to have societal beliefs of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And as spiritual people having a human experience, I mean, why be a spiritual being having a human experience if we're not going to enjoy the human experience? I mean, it's okay to suffer the human experience of pain and arthritis and heartbreak, but let's not talk about the flesh, and let's not talk about the pleasures, because it's more important to be spiritual. And there's discomfort. I mean, let's face it, we don't talk, I mean, this is not an every Sunday kind of topic that we're talking about. However, my invitation to those of us, including myself, who feel some discomfort and unease and maybe even resistance in having this conversation, the invitation is to be in the discomfort and to be with the resistance, because it is there, kind of like standing at the cliff right before you leap. It is there that we have our most profound growth and understanding and breakthrough. Just as was mentioned earlier, if there is no spot where God is not, then God as us is having this human experience and expression. And I'm not going to get into gory details so you can relax. Yeah, I'm not going to go all the way there. And I'm not even asking you to accept the things that I'm speaking of, as much as I am inviting you to be curious, to ask yourself, why am I uncomfortable? And what beliefs am I currently holding on to that this is challenging me to release or even examine and let go of? So this is not about forcing you to believe or to, take your wedding ring off and go out and have a time. This is not about forcing any thoughts as much as it is about just examining the truth that right where you are, spirit is, that you are the unique, unrepeatable, magnificent, powerful way that God shows up in human form, and that your human form and your human expression and your sexuality are included in that. I could really just stop right there and we can pass the basket and have a time at it. But I want to approach this conversation with some compassion for ourselves and other people who do feel some discomfort. Because we come from different backgrounds and different cultures, talking about this subject, really brings up a lot of stuff. I mean, when we talk about trauma or even abuse, it brings up a lot. And so I really want to have this idea of, we're laughing and we're having this conversation, and not everybody has the same experiences that we do, and not everybody has the same liberation that we do. And we want to really hold each other in the arms of love and compassion when we're having this conversation, and really have this be a safe place in which to talk about these things. Too often we've been separated from our spirituality by these moral standards that were read about just a few minutes ago. That it's better to be spiritual than to be human, but we are indeed both. We are these spiritual beings having this human experience, and we're here to enjoy those experiences that we have, however they are. But somehow or another, our sexual expression, our beings, our self-expression has been co-opted and regulated, that unless it fits a particular criteria, then we're wrong, or then we're dirty or nasty, or not in full alignment with God, with spirit. And that is not the truth of who we are. Our expression is God-given. I like to think that our humanness, our sexuality, our way of expressing is a gift. It is a gift. And so what do you do with your gift? How do you appreciate your gift? Because the messages that we receive from society are sometimes geared towards making people wrong in an effort to control who we are and our expression of our God self. I think about when I was a little kid, and how society grooms us to have this narrow idea of what it's like to be a sexual being, and how it categorizes it as simply, like this heterosexual thing. When you see little kids and you see this cute little boy and you go, oh my gosh, how many girlfriends do you have? Or when you see a cute little girl and you go, oh, you are going to be a heartbreaker. You're just going to break all those little boys' hearts. Understanding that pattern is grooming society and our children to live and conform to a certain narrow heterosexual way of being. I remember my parents telling me, your dad, and my mom would tell me about my dad, like, your dad said he was going to buy a cannon and put it at the door so that if any little boys or any boys came, any male callers came for you, they'd just light the cannon and blow them away. As if the only eligible people calling for me would be boys, right? And so innocently, subtly, and also overtly, we raise and groom our children to live in this narrow view of human expression, of human sexuality. And we never really consider that when we do this to our young people, that we're actually setting them up sometimes to be ashamed. And so we talk about the shame of who we're attracted to, or who we like, or who we don't like, or who we should like. When in fact, well-meaning parents, well-meaning teachers, and well-meaning clergy, and well-meaning people and media are grooming our children to fit and to conform in a particular box. And when we don't, the turmoil begins. I ask you right now, do you have discomfort with your own sexuality? Who you're attracted to, who you're not attracted to, how you express, how you're freely able to be yourself. In the spiritual tradition of Tantra, that spiritual tradition embraces the human body. In U.S. culture, we're really acculturated and also groomed to be intellectual beings, and everything is up here in the head. We're so heady sometimes, and it's all about the intellect. The idea of Tantra is really fully being in your body. Sometimes we're so disconnected from the neck down that we don't even know what we feel, what we like, what we don't like. We just go by, I'm supposed to like this, I'm supposed to not like this, and if we can check off the boxes and conform. But so often in our U.S. culture, we're not in touch with our bodies, and yet in this spiritual tradition of Tantra, it's about enlightenment. It's about really being in the body and to really embrace our mental, our emotional, our spiritual, and our physical bodies, and paying attention and loving all of our bodies, loving our complete selves, not just loving parts of ourselves. Ernest Holmes talks about the eternal goodness and loving kindness of life. The eternal goodness and loving kindness of life really embraces and includes our expression, our self-expression, our sexual expression, who we really are. So I want to talk about a couple of things before our time ends today, and that is intimacy. Now, when I think about intimacy, I break it down. Into me, see. Intimacy. Intimacy is really about the closeness of two or more people without pretense. Now, what's interesting is that intimacy requires honesty. And when I think about how honest I can be with people, intimacy is not only about sexual intimacy, it's really about human beings being together. I know that I have lots and plenty of intimate conversations, not only when I'm counseling, but I have dear, dear friends and people who I can just be me. I want to be me 24/7. I don't want to have to pick and choose who I want to be me with and have these masks and pretenses. It requires honesty. And honesty is the enemy of ego. And our ego really wants to say, I don't need anybody. Nobody needs to know my business. What happens here is between me and that person, or what I like and don't like is not for public consumption. And I get that. And yet, you don't have to dance with everybody at the dance, but you get to dance with somebody. And who is that person that you can really be yourself with, where you can really talk about who you are, the joys and the pains of life, and really have that intimate connection? Because without that intimate connection, how do you then also have that intimate sexual connection? It's kind of difficult and kind of hard to be able to do that unless you're able to first be honest with yourself. And so I encourage you that after today, that you kind of have that come to yourself moment, come to your enlightenment moment, where you discover, where you journal, where you ask yourself. I mean, there are people who go to their deathbed, ask me how I know, because I've done chaplaincy work, and they've never actually outed themselves. In other words, they've never actually been honest with another human being. Coming out is not only for the gay folks. It's really about coming out with who you really are. And that kind of intimacy is available to us, especially in spiritual community. And what I mean by that is, if I can't be honest with you, then who can I be honest with? How do we actually develop relationships, deep, abiding relationships, where that attraction is even on fire, right? A friend of mine used to say that an intimate sexual relationship should be a friendship on fire. Well, we have that openness, and you see me for who I am without pretense. Now, all of this also comes with conversation and consent, right? None of this is, because we've had trauma, because some of us have actually had encounters where there was no consent given, where there's trauma and abuse. It's also important to have someone to talk to and have conversations about what that trauma was like, and to begin that healing process so that we're no longer having what people call the hang-ups about our sexual expression and our sexuality. Healing is available, and healing happens here in spiritual community. That's why we have practitioners and ministers, so that we can be our full selves. So often we just cut off that part of ourselves, and we don't allow ourselves to really fully be. I know some people feel shame if you see somebody who's too butch or even too flamboyant. Remember, that tuning fork, ding! If it's stirring something up in here, look at it. If one tuning fork is making the other one vibrate, if there's something about someone's expression that just kind of disturbs or moves you, gently ask yourself what that's about. Give yourself permission to have that conversation with self, and then have those conversations, those healing conversations, especially with the people that we might be uncomfortable with. Stay curious. Hey, tell me more. I noticed that you're really open. What was that like for you? Were you always that way? Tell me more. I want to hear. I'm not only curious, but I'm interested. And lastly, what is it about the shame and the guilt? What is that about? Beginning to understand that shame and guilt is not yours. You've been carrying luggage that belongs to somebody else. That guilt and shame about who you are and how you express does not belong to you. And it's time to let that go. It's time to release that. It's time to embrace who you are, what you love, what you don't like. I like this, but I don't like that. Wow. Like, this is really what we're talking about. Having the opportunity to fully live our human expression as spiritual beings. And that we have the gift of both. So, beloveds, it's time. It's time that we accept our sexuality. It's time that we recognize that we are the unique and unrepeatable, magnificent way that spirit shows up in human form. That spirit shows up wherever it is that we are. It's time to release that shame. It's time to find the joy that sometimes eludes us. Is it possible? Yes, it is. And it all starts with being honest. So that, beloveds, is Auntie talking to you about sex. And so it is.
A horrible liar. She couldn't spend one day alone, but she couldn't be satisfied. And when you have everything, you have everything to lose. She made herself bed of nails, and she was planning on putting it to use. Yeah, she wore diamonds on the inside. She wore diamonds on the inside. She wore diamonds on the inside. Candle throws its light into darkness in a nasty world. So shines a good deed. Make sure the fortune that you seek is a fortune that you need. Then tell me why the first to ask is the last one to give every time. And when you're saying and what you do not mean follows you close behind. Yeah, she wore diamonds on the inside. She wore diamonds on the inside. Yeah, diamonds on the inside. Like a soldier standing under fire, anything changed comes as a relief. And let the giver's name remain unspoken. She is just as generous as a thief. Yeah, she wore diamonds on the inside. She wore diamonds on the inside. She wore diamonds on the inside. Oh, diamonds. Yeah, diamonds.
Let's give it up one more time to our music team. And let us give it up with full-hearted expressions of gratitude to Reverend Sunshine Daye. My tuning fork was vibrating at a level. You know, it just reminds me that like 20 years ago there, in Namaste, there was a marketing phrase that we used in all our materials. It simply said, "We are church, but different." You know, I want to feel that this is a safe space where we don't feel like what we're talking about is necessarily different. It may be new, but it is where exactly we're supposed to be and the conversations we're supposed to have. And if it makes us feel uncomfortable, reach to a practitioner or just be aware of your inner tuning fork vibrating and know that it's touching something inside. So thank you, Reverend Sunshine Daye. At this time, I'd like to invite our ushers to come forth. And our ushers today, and thank you so much for your service, is Cheryl, Janet, Corey, and Terry. I think I know that guy. By the way, if you think you'd like to explore ways of stepping into service and volunteering but are unsure, being an usher is a very easy way to gently step into that service. So if you feel called to give a little bit of your time, see one of the members of the welcome team and start that conversation with them. So this is our time to share and give from our heart. Whether it's giving, tithing, and sharing, it keeps us connected not only to ourselves, but our community and to the world. So if you feel that you value the message, the music, the inner tuning fork that is vibrating inside of you today, then put a value on that and know that this is your time to contribute to your community, your Pacific Coast Center for Spiritual Living. So, before I invite you to speak this affirmation, let us take a collective deep breath together and know that as we expand our spiritual and physical lungs, we are expanding the very presence and energy of which we say these words, and they resonate truthfully inside us. So join me right now. We rise together as love for ourselves and our community. We rise as acts of service, generosity, and the expression of our unique talents. As a committed whole, we give this gift today. That is wonderful. So, the ushers have already completed, but for those of you either throughout the week or especially those of you who aren't physically here watching us live during our streaming channel, know that there are many different ways of giving to our spiritual center, and you see them on your screen, whether it's through Venmo or texting us and texting a dollar amount to the number on your screen, or going to our website, pacificcsl.org. We will always open our hearts and our bank accounts for your time, talent, and treasure. Not yet. I'd also like to invite our practitioners to stand up and be recognized at this point. You've met some of them, but these are all of them. Please know, practitioners are licensed by Centers for Spiritual Living to pray and to hold the truth of who you are through affirmative prayer. So if you feel like either your day, your year, or this particular moment, there's just some unease or for yourself or somebody else in your life, please take advantage of the practitioners, what they have to offer you. After service, if you're here, you can go right over here by the window where it says prayer happens here, and you can sit with a practitioner. Or there's other ways. If you feel so called during the week, go to our website, pacificcsl.org. At the home page, scroll all the way down at the bottom. There's a link to request prayer. Hit it, and then fill out the very simple form. And either somebody will pray for you and hold you in prayer, and that is it. Or you can request that they call you and you can have a prayer one-on-one over the phone. Or what I like to do is that they pray for me and I request a copy of that prayer. And I print it out, I fold it up, and I keep it with me. And it's a wonderful touchstone for me if I'm going through a particularly challenging period. So I hear things in the back of the room, and those little things are the pitter-patter of our youth. So I would like to invite Wenda and Mary to bring up our youth here, if they're ready.
She wore diamonds on the inside. 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 She wore diamonds.
Thank you. Good morning, Pacific Coast. Good morning. So, today we talked about going back to school, and we talked about what we might have in our backpacks. In our backpacks. What is in our backpacks that might remind us that God is with us at school and that we are safe and we are loved and we are cared for while we're in school? And so I'll just give you a couple examples. Mia, can you open that? And let's see, what do we want to pull out of there? Oh. A lot of us bring our water bottles to school. What can that remind us of? I'm in flow with God. The flow of water. We have a notebook. God and I are writing the great story of my life. You know what? I really like being in here. It's such a different feeling. The response, I love it. You know, how much time do we have? I'm going to go through the whole backpack. No. Okay. But you know what? This is feeding my soul. I'm just going to do a couple more. Okay. And yeah, that's your prize. And your snack. Oh, this is good. Mary said this is a good one. Some of us have tissues. It's okay to have feelings. Thank God, because I've been having some big feelings. Even if they're mad, what we might think of as bad, or sad. Crying lets me release my feelings. So I have my tissues. Okay, I'm stopping. Am I stopping? One more. Okay, thank you. Oh my God, I really love you guys. Okay. This is a ruler, or what do we call it, Mia? A measuring stick. To measure how I'm doing and know that God says it's okay to make mistakes, because how do we learn? Sometimes we learn from making mistakes. Huh? Okay. And then we picked an item that would remind us, and we colored these pictures. Yep, you picked the water bottle. Can you three girls stand up? The three girls that participated. And hold up, let me take the water bottle, and can you hold up your pictures that we colored? Oh, wow. And Mia, what does it say on the picture? You could read yours or Riley.
When I am thirsty, I can drink.
Yes. And what is the actual, the words written on, what does this say?
God is with me at school.
Yes. And I just want you to know that we have Landon going into, I believe it's TK, and we have Sophia starting kindergarten, and Riley is going into first grade, and Miles already started first grade a couple of weeks ago. And Mia's moved all the way up into second grade. So, okay. I'm just going to say a great big thank you to all of you because you just made me feel a whole heck of a lot better. So, thank you.
Let me go. Oh. I love this part. And you know what the value is? It shouldn't be a separation of us adults and the kids. Let us this be a reminder that our inner child is always alive. And if we don't feel like the inner child, then ask yourself, what can I do? Play some games. Skip. When was the last time you skipped? Or the science of a smile. Even if you don't feel happy, just the science of moving these muscles make you feel great. So be the kid. Be the inner child. Live that. Yeah. So, anyway, so I will ask Rachel to please carry the candle out for us. And as she does this, let's each one of us open our own inner circle of light wider, so that the light does not just stay here in this sacred, wonderful space of Pacific Coast CSL, but as she does this, we are carrying our own inner, very bright, joyous, peace-filled light out into the world. One candle into another, until the whole globe is just brimming with love. That's the power of that light. It's not just for here and now, it's the whole week. So to close this service and to take us through our joyous rockin' benediction, our staff minister, Reverend Veronica Silva.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Thank you, kids. Oh my gosh, how beautiful. How beautiful to have the kids up here. And let's give another round for Wenda and Mary for taking care of our kids today. Yes, thank you. Yes. And Reverend Sunshine. Woo! Yes. So, it's really good when people make us uncomfortable. Have you ever thanked them before? Right? So let's start doing that so that we can see what's going on inside and thank those who make us uncomfortable, because that's where our growing spot is, right? To the breaking through. Yes. All right. So if you are able, can you please stand for our benediction? Whew, I love this, remembering that we are life. Life is all that there is. Life that is all that there ever will be. So let's talk about this, yes? Let's talk about life. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So as we say this, let's say this as we've never said it before, okay? Just feeling within. I like when Ray asked us to take a breath. So let's take a breath right now. Letting it all out. Remembering that breath is the breath of God. That breath is the breath of life. And let us say together, are we ready? We are ready. Okay. So tell me, Pacific Coast Center, what is happening right here and right now?
Something
wonderful is happening through me right now. Yes. Tell me, what is it? It is this thing called life. Yes, it is. Okay, now tell me, where is this thing called life?
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is all that I am. Life is all that we are.
Yes, and what do we do with this thing called life? I accept it, I am it, and I share it with all. All right, here's the fun part, here's the uncomfortable part, right? How do we share it? Just the way it appeared, and just the way it appears not. Yes. Yes, so let's feel it from the bottoms of our feet, feeling it, this thing called life through our legs, all the way up through our torso, into our arms, into our top of our head. Let's feel it right here and right now. What are we going to say? Thank you, life. Woo, yes.
I am alive with a spirit of love. I am alive.